I think it's pretty safe to say that very few public figures in the history of Arizona have gotten the kind of attention that Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio has over the years. He always seems to find a way into the media spotlight.
And for the past 23 years, that spotlight has been managed mostly behind the scenes by a woman who is retiring next week, a woman who might be familiar to longtime Fox 10 viewers. Troy Hayden is live with the story. Troy.
And I think it is an interesting one as well. Joe Arpaio has been sheriff since 1992, and one of his first big moves in office was to hire a television reporter named Lisa Allen to manage his media relations. Lisa's retiring next week after more than 2 decades with Arpaio, and she leaves behind a heck of a body of work. Tent City, stripes, pink underwear, immigration, female chain gangs, and so much more. Over the past 23 years, Joe Arpaio has become probably the most famous sheriff in the world, an avalanche of media attention that Lisa Allen has handled for decades.
We had 38 television cameras to deal with on the very first day of the female chain gang. I mean, it was just monstrous.
The turnout here, though, is absolutely remarkable. There are a ton of parents here.
Joe Arpaio hired Lisa Allen from Channel 10, where she was a reporter. She brought her knowledge of what TV news wanted to see and gave it to a sheriff who more than welcomed all that publicity.
Took her away from Fox 10, and that's what you do, you neutralize. So I ought to hire all the reporters so they would be on my side, right?
Lisa not only helped manage Joe Arpaio's media requests, she came up with some of the ideas that got that media coverage in the first place.
My favorite one, and I'll never ever forget it, was I remember I was in my apartment at Tempe, I was taking a nap, I woke up and I thought, we should have a neon sign above Tent City that says vacancy.
That sign is still hanging and shining high above Tent City, welcoming new inmates. Lisa says she's leaving after 23 years because it's just time, and she wants to hand the job to someone with renewed energy to help the sheriff lead the office for possibly another term. And for those who think sometimes Lisa and the sheriff went a little far with some of his publicity stunts,
it was always his idea that's the way he could tell the people who vote for him what he's doing and who he is.
He did it his way.
Yeah, you know, some of the things that the sheriff has done, and I've worked with a lot of public information officers over the 20 years that I've been in the Valley, and you guys have both been here a long time. I don't think any of them were better than Lisa Allen, so we wish her luck.
She was a tremendous advocate for him. I mean, whether, and we came, you know, we would come at loggerheads sometimes with Lisa, but she was doing her job, we understand it. And she was a tremendous asset for him.
Yeah, what she brought to it was a television reporter's sense of what makes good TV.
Yeah. She'd been
and brought
there
it to a
before,
guy who loves it. Sure.
How hard was it getting through? There were a bunch of really bad years in there where all of the press, all of it was negative for a long time.
Right.
Did she talk about that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure some days are better than others. It's probably a lot more fun to be out there celebrating an anniversary of Tent City than answering some tough questions, but she handled all of it over 23 years. Think about that body of work, as I said earlier.
That's a lot.
23 years.
Interesting.
Okay, Lisa, we wish you well.